Time for us to talking about getting the best armor. There are tons of slots to fill, and one of the limiting factors because of that can be the amount of weight that you can carry. A bit of a tip before we move forward is you can actually get away with not having armor on your legs most of the time. This is because the armor is calculated based on when you get hit. This is why when you look at the armor stats, we have the symbols along the top, which is the damage type, so piercing, slashing, and blunt damage. Along the vertical line there on the left, we see head, chest, arms, and legs. So we need to armor each individual part of the body, and we'll get the defense from that. The thing with the legs is most of the time, opponents you're going to be facing are not attacking your legs, they'll be attacking your upper body. The only real time you need to care about leg armor is when you are doing mounted combat, which makes that the easiest place to save some weight if you want just a generalist armor set to use most of the time. And then if you're expecting armored combat, you can just fit some leg armor on there. Armor is basically bigger, number better. So we are going to start out with different stages of the game where you can look to get some good armor, get yourself sorted out. Of course, the very first place we're going to be looking is Troskovitz. We have a couple of chests to loot and a shop to visit. So we'll start out with the shop because it's daytime for me right now. A good thing to come and get very early is the per point that we can get from the tailor. So if we just come over this way, head on into the door and speak to this guy just so I can show you that he has it. We can see that from him, we can get the long per point, which is a fairly good jacket, especially early on in the game. 193 gold if you want to buy it the honest way, or in my opinion, the best thing to do is to purchase it, wait till nighttime, and then the money will be in that chest right there. So you can just get a refund by doing it that way. Speaking of making it nighttime, I like to come to this upper area of the town here. I'm going to go ahead, we're going to make it nighttime, and then we will continue onward. If you have the stealth stats available, a very good thing to do early on is where you can see we are right at the north of this lion's crest thing right here. We can just head on in through this way. I'm going to take a potion actually. I'm going to take a potion so we can see a little bit better. Head on up the stairs and we can pickpocket this guy for a key. This is realistically for those that just don't have anything yet. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to loot this chest. You are going to be over encumbered from this. Be prepared for a track to offload yourself. So you can see we're going to come down this way. Always just have a little bit of a check. Make sure there's no guard coming up here. And we're going to take this right turn. We're going to go up the stairs. Turn to the left to loot this one. Make sure you don't touch any of the guards. This is a good place to take a save, because often when you open this door, there can be somebody out front, but right now there is not. Here we have a guard now, so you need to be quick. Into the other side, as you can see, and then you can empty this chest right here. This is going to give you a nice starting amount of loot. And with those chests looted, you should find that you have a fairly nice assortment of armor that you can now start using. Just bear in mind, if you wear this around this town, people are going to recognize it, and that is going to mean that you will have it taken off you. So the best thing to do, leave this in a chest, wait 2 to 3 days, the stolen sign will come off it, and then you can just wear it as normal. Our next target, where we're going to do something very similar, is Upper Samine right here. So we're going to make our way down there now. Make your way to the horse field. This is where we're going to be entering from. I'm going to head on in this way. My potion's still working, which is rather nice. We're going to grab a key. So we're going to head on up these stairs right here. I'm going to take a key from Mr. Hired Hand Franzi, and then we're going to make our way back down the stairs. Once we're down the stairs, we're going to head through the barn door. We're going to look to the right. Now, you can't even see it with Nighthawk potion on, but you can see there's the door up there, and we're going to go up these stairs. There's another guard room here, and we can get ourselves even more armor from these few chests. So we're just going to go in, grab absolutely everything from the 2 chests in here so that we can leave. And then we have one more that we want to grab. So just check there's no guard. Sometimes there can be a guard standing here. If not, bad luck. You just have to come on a different night. But we're going to come on up the stairs through this door into Gnarly's room. It was important to get that key because I don't think we can actually rob him, but the key we got allows us to rob all of his stuff, and he has also very nice loot for us. Make sure you get his wardrobe as well, because there's some fashion items in here that we can use. And then we can go ahead and make our escape. That should realistically be more than enough armor for you to make sure that you're well equipped and you have the defenses that you need to continue on. In fact, that's actually one of the best helmets in the game right there. You're welcome. We don't have the best cuirass yet, but we do have Millie's Brigandine, which is quite strong. But the main thing that we're missing is a long chain hauberk and a nice piece of plate mail, which we're going to get later. So at this point, you can now feel pretty free when it comes to exploring around Trosky. If you want a small upgrade, it's not a very good one, but it is an upgrade. You can come down to this cumin troop down here. Now I've got ignore that it's grey for me. I explore things and then reload, right? Down there, you can actually get a coat that is slightly better than the other coats in the region, but it's probably not worth it coming kind of all the way down to Nebukov Fortress, then making your way all the way around, just get a couple of coats. It's like 1 or 2 points of defense. So it's up to you guys if you want to go down there and do it. But basically, from there, you now have all of the armor that you need, and you can progress the story until you gain access to Trosky Castle, which is where we get our next armor upgrades. Once you progress the story until you have access to Trosky Castle, then come to the room that they give you and make it nighttime. Always go for just after midnight, because that way everybody will be asleep. And we've got 2 main targets here. First up, we're going to go on up the stairs where we should find blacksmith Osina. This is going to allow us to get his key very easily. It almost feels like they're making us do this on purpose. This key will allow us to get into the door next to ours, and will give you access to his merchant chest. 2 best ways to use this realistically is to purchase whatever you want from him and then come on in, get yourself a refund on the groschen. That way you will not have to deal with the stolen marker on any of the stuff that you decide you want from here. And he has some pretty good stuff. The basket aventail is pretty good. Mail collar with badge is actually the highest that you can get, so you should probably want one of those, as is the long hauberk. It's also the best chain. That's only tier 2, so it's not the highest. Substantial upgrades in here. Something we can't actually get from the shops right now is a very strong plate mail. So we're going to go up the stairs and towards the kitchen. Game is aggressively looking for me right now. It's not going to find me. We're going to come up 1 set of stairs and then the 2nd set of stairs, and then we want to get through this door right here. If you need to go searching for a key, that's up to you. We have guides already for improving your thievery skill so that we can get through locks like this with ease. And in here, we're going to find Captain Thomas. We need his key, and then we can get into his chest. The most important stuff in here, we have the Saxon kettle hat, which actually isn't better than the Italian bascinet, but most importantly, we have the cuirass with folds, which is the best plate armor that we can get in the Trosky region. So now that you have access to all of the highest possible defense in Trosky, I know I could go through equipping each individual piece, but higher number better. You should be able to work that out and put that on your character to give yourself the advantages that you need. Now, because we can't actually get that chest piece from the shop, if you don't want to just wait it out for 3 days, which you can do, you can also go over to the nomad camp where we can visit the fence. So we could come to this guy. We can then sell him the cuirass. Doesn't really matter how much we decide to take for it. And then we can repurchase it so that it is no longer stolen, as you should be able to see here. To get the money back, all we need to do is make it nighttime again so that he's asleep. If everybody's awake, they'll see us doing it. He'll be asleep right next to where his chest is, so we can go ahead, take his keys, and then the chest with all of his money in will be just behind his wagon. And there, we didn't even have to spend anything to just clean off the best chest piece in Trosky. Once we reach Kutenberg, then we now have access to an absolute ocean of armor. I'll go through the best in slot. All of it pretty much comes from the high street. You can purchase most of it. So if you want to be the kind of person that purchases it, you're honest, you can purchase most of it from these shops right here that are in the center. The one that I've got marked actually has the best helmets and the best coif, so pretty good for that. The tailor, I think it's this middle one. This one sells the Schausers. You'll need to make your way around each of the different armorers to grab all of your loot. If you want a way to just get all of the loot for free, I have a stealth guide for this. I'll make sure that is the linked video at the end of this one. So if you guys want to go through this place like a plague, get one of everything for free, stick it all in the chest, wait 3 days, and then it'll all be ready for you. You can do that. That's what I did. But do be aware that you end up with a chest with so much loot in that it's actually painful to sort through it. But that brings us to best in slot then. Now, bear in mind, I have some slots that I haven't filled. That's because some of them are actually for fashion, okay? So the one in the top right corner, for example, you can get like 2-3 extra defense out of it, or you can just pick the one that you like the look of, okay? So if you want a coat to go over your armor because you prefer the idea of a coat, that's up to you. I don't really want a coat, so I am pretty happy just having the armor showing because I think it looks cooler. So that means a noble bascinet for the head. This is tied with a noble bascinet with British. Pick the one that you like the look of. I like this one. We can actually move the visor up and down, which is going to be useful for me getting a thumbnail. Mail hood with a coat of arms, tier 3, highest level that you can get. Mail collar with badge, tier 3, highest level that we can get. The Milanese cuirass, which is only a small upgrade over the one that we actually got in Trosky Castle. So if you prefer the look of the old one, you can actually keep that on. Hauberk long. There aren't very many hauberks, so long one on, and then you're all good. Long gambeson. Technically speaking, there is a better one we can get from the Cumans, but I haven't got access to high-level Cumans yet. You need to progress the story pretty late for that one. Nuremberg gauntlets and arms. Obviously, I've gone for a darkened metal color to try and keep it all looking at least somewhat similar. For the legs, obviously, Noble's plate legs. These also come from the Nicholas Crondall guy. I need to go and get some darkened ones. I'm going to go get those straight after this video. The padded trousers, which I talked about before, going to the tailor. And that is us, fully armored. You can't get much more protected than that, so we are officially the walking tank.